Real Madrid's La Liga opener is still some time away, but the team returns to kick off their pre-season today, and the hype is building. The anticipation is building. I cannot wait to kick the season off. But in all this hype and anticipation, it got me thinking, who's Real Madrid's one to watch this year? And in small brackets, biggest surprise. The reason I say small brackets is because I don't want to include players like Vinicius Jr. or Kylian Mbappe or Jude Bellingham, the big names, the superstars, because of course they're ones to watch. Of course they're gonna have great seasons. That's everyone knows that. So in small brackets we have biggest surprise. It's not really the biggest surprise. It's more ones to watch, but that's just there in asterisks because we don't want to include the big names. Now the way we're gonna do this, and I don't know if they're in the thumbnail or not. I haven't done my thumbnail yet. But the way we're gonna do this is it's going to be a 1-2-3 podium position. But this wasn't easy. This was not easy. There were so many players I was thinking of. There were so many names I was considering. But I have narrowed it down to 4. Not 3, 4. And the reason it is 4 is because fourth place is very, very close to the podium. He is very, very close. He is literally right by the door, but he hasn't made it. And the reason he hasn't made it is also the reason he's so close, because the player is Franco Mastantuono. The reason Mastantuono hasn't made the podium and the reason he's so close are the same. It's because of all the hype. Because I haven't seen this guy play. Oh, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I have seen him play, but very, very briefly at the Club World Cup. And I don't even really want to count that because the pitches were horrible and the weather conditions were horrendous. So I don't even really want to count that. I just want to say I've never seen the guy play. But Mastantuono has a lot of hype. He has a lot of attention. There's so many things coming out that this guy isn't coming to Real Madrid to just sit on the bench or be a squad player. He is coming to play straight away. He is going to be knocking on the door of that starting 11, or if not being one of the starters straight off the bat. Xabi Alonso was insistent that this guy needs to arrive straight away and he's going to utilize him straight away. And he is the heir to Argentina's national team number 10 shirt, and he is the heir to Messi, and he's going to take over that team when Messi's done, and all this stuff. Do you know when we heard this before? With Endrick. A year or year and a half ago, we heard all this same stuff about Endrick. He was ripping it apart in the Brazilian league. He is a phenomenal generational talent. He is the heir to the Brazilian team. He is the next Pele for Brazil. He is not going to be coming to Real Madrid to just sit on the bench. He is going to be playing a lot. Carlo Ancelotti wants him in straight away. He can't wait to use him, etc., etc. Everything we heard about Mastantuono, we heard about Endrick. The problem is, I have once again fallen victim to the hype. I have fully fallen victim. I am fully invested. I believe everything I've read, but at the same time, because this has happened before and so recently with another promising prospect, I can't put him any higher on the list. So Mastantuono is right by the door, but he hasn't quite made the podium. The player who has made the podium in third place is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, that is a bit weird because I put my little asterisks and my little brackets that it's biggest surprise because I didn't want to include Vinicius or Jude or Kylian Mbappe, the big names in world football. And I've included Trent. Trent is a big name in world football. Trent is arguably the best right back in world football. There was a reason Liverpool didn't want to lose him. But the reason Trent is on the list, and I could not keep him off the list, is because we might see a new version of Trent Alexander-Arnold. We are going to see a Trent Alexander-Arnold in a 5-back formation. In a 4-back formation, we've seen what Trent does. In Liverpool for years, we've seen he is one of the best offensive fullbacks in the game. When he gets forward and he gets his head up, he is able to deliver ridiculously dangerous crosses or phenomenal killer final passes. We've seen that. But in a 5-back formation, the thing is, 5-back formations, they're made for fullbacks. Obviously, it helps the team in a lot of aspects, both offensively and defensively. But 5-back formations are made mainly so that fullbacks can get forward. And not have to worry about what's happening behind them. That's basically the main reason they are there. Obviously, it helps for other reasons, yes. But the main reason I want to focus on is what they offer fullbacks. Trent will have the freedom of just staying or occupying spaces in the final third without having to concern himself about what's happening defensively. Don't get me wrong, he still has to defend. Everyone has to defend. I'm not saying he will never have to track back and who's basically a right winger who's standing next to Kylian Mbappe. No, what I'm saying is when he gets forward, he won't have to worry about the runs he makes, because as a right back in a full-back formation, when he makes that run into offensive position or he overlaps his winger, he still has to worry about getting back. He still has to worry about getting back into position, because if his cross doesn't hit the target, then the other team is counter-attacking and he needs to sprint back. It's different in a 5-back formation. In a 5-back formation, once he delivers that cross, he can stay right there. He can get into the box. He can drop into the midfield. He can drop back slowly into a different position along the flank. There are so many different things that Trent can do because he has less to concern himself about going backwards. So just because we might unlock another tier and another level to his offensive abilities and capabilities, Trent, I could not exclude him from the list, and I am very, very much looking forward to what he offers this year. In second place, and very, very, very barely, he is so close. He has barely missed out on number 1 spot. We have Dean Huijsen. I cannot sing this guy's praises enough. The glazing with this guy, it could be endless. It could actually be endless. I could not believe what I saw with Dean Huijsen at the Club World Cup. I don't watch Bournemouth play. I watch the Premier League. I don't watch Bournemouth play. If Bournemouth are playing a big team like your Cities or your Arsenals or your whoever, Liverpools, if they're playing a big team and it's a big game, I will watch. But if they're not and it's a mid-table or low-table team they're playing, I don't watch Bournemouth. So I've never seen Dean Huijsen play. But I watched Dean Huijsen play at the Club World Cup and I could not believe what I was seeing. In the next thing I'm about to say, I am not criticising Real Madrid's midfield or team at all. But in Real Madrid, in a team filled with the players that Real Madrid have, every player was looking for Dean Huijsen. Every single player was trying to get the ball to Dean Huijsen because his line-breaking passes, his catalogue of passing, his range of passing is so ridiculously good that not only fans, and this is the maddest thing, not only fans, because from the outside looking in, fans say all sorts of things. From the outside, fans were calling Dean Huijsen the new Toni Kroos. We have found our Toni Kroos replacement finally, and he is a centre-back. But the thing that's mad is the players. The guys inside, the guys seeing it firsthand were agreeing and saying the same things. That's how good Dean Huijsen's passing ability is. And to further prove my point, it's not just at Real Madrid where the team is looking at this guy and trying to get him the ball to play those line-breaking passes or to push the ball and the team forward. It happens at Spain as well. It happens at Spain as well. With Spain and the Spanish national team, a team filled with midfielders like Rodri, Pedri, Fabian Ruiz, ball-playing midfielders, passing midfielders. With a team with that kind of midfield, Spain is still looking to get the ball to Dean Huijsen. That's how good this guy is on the ball and his passing ability is. And not just offensively, not just on the ball, defensively as well. His main job as a centre-back, defensively, he looked phenomenally as well. But it's just, I was so impressed with what he was doing on the ball that I don't even really want to speak about his defensive abilities, which is not fair because he is a phenomenal defender. The way he kicked off his Club World Cup, obviously the season is different. The season we're yet to see how he will do. But the way he kicked off his Club World Cup reminded me of the way Jude Bellingham kicked off his La Liga or his Real Madrid career. He was playing as if he's been playing in this team for the last 50 years and it's his team and he's been running that defence his whole life. That's how he was playing. When Jude Bellingham arrived, he was playing as if he's been running that Real Madrid team and midfield his whole life, and it was just phenomenal. And Dean Huijsen is doing the exact same thing in defence. So I was very, very impressed with him, but he has just missed out on the top spot because the number one to watch player for me this year is Arda Guler. Oh my God, Arda. Real Madrid fans, Madridistas have been hyped about this guy for a while. Because the moment he arrived to Real Madrid 2 years ago, all you were seeing and all you were hearing were the clips and the stories of what he was doing in training. The things he was pulling off in training were ridiculous. Like, we genuinely were like, wow, like, what have we signed? Genuinely, what kind of talent have we signed? And that too for less than 20 million or just about roughly 20 million. We couldn't believe it. We genuinely could not believe it. He was phenomenal. Obviously, afterwards came, unfortunately, that untimely injury and he was out for a long period of time. And fast forward 2 years later, he has never been able to really secure a position at Real Madrid. Arda, I've said this before when I was speaking about Guler. Arda's, he fits that bracket of player for me where he wants to be a winger, but he only wants to be a winger because he's a number 10 and there's no number 10 in football anymore. He's like, if Mesut Ozil played football today, they would play him at right wing. But Mesut Ozil isn't a winger. Mesut Ozil is a 10. That's the problem. He's in that profile. He's one of those players who's a 10, but unfortunately, because 10 doesn't exist in football anymore, he's been turned into a winger. Marco Asensio also had a similar problem. I hated Marco Asensio at right wing for Real Madrid for years because he didn't have the space that a winger needed. He didn't have the one-on-one ability that a winger needed, but he had the shooting and the passing that a midfielder needed. So I always used to think to myself, why doesn't he play midfield? And it's the same with Arda Guler. Arda Guler doesn't have the pace a winger needs. He doesn't have the one-on-one ability a winger needs, but he has the passing ability and the shooting ability a midfielder or a 10 needs. So I've always wanted to see him deeper in the pitch and more in the midfield role. It's just defensively, Arda was never really quite there, and positionally, he was never really quite there. But again, going back to that 5-back formation and system that Xabi Alonso seems to want to play at Real Madrid, it just gives midfielders like defenders and fullbacks a bit more room for error. It gives them more of a luxury in terms of not being in the right place or being caught out of position. And Arda Guler, similar to Trent and similar to Dean Howson, was phenomenal at the Club World Cup. In all of the games, but specifically that Borussia Dortmund game. In the Borussia Dortmund game, Arda was all over the pitch. He was on the left, he was on the right, he was in the middle, he was putting in crosses, he was playing final passes. He was everywhere. He was phenomenal. And I really, really enjoyed what I saw from Arda. And I can't wait to see more. I genuinely can't. Because I think finally we found a position with Arda. Because Xabi Alonso said it. Arda Güler's problem right now in midfield is he's trying to understand and learn a new role. And the good thing is that both Alonso and Arda Güler are very, very happy with him being in midfield. He wants to play in midfield. The problem is he is reactionary. Arda Güler is reacting to everything, and as a midfielder, you can't react to everything. You need to anticipate everything. You need to have better anticipation, and that's what Xabi Alonso said about Arda Güler. He needs to improve on his anticipation and be where the problem's going to be instead of get to where the problem is already happening. And that will only come with time. That will only come with playing. That will only come through experience. And another very, very key important detail, the fact that Jude Bellingham is going to be missing up until October or November, it just means we have a massive gap in the middle of the midfield that is left open for somebody to just grab and take a hold of and say, I'm ready to step up and take a hold of that position. And Arda could be him. Arda could, without a doubt, with everything that he has in his locker and with all the faith Xabi Alonso has in him, he could be him. And he could take hold of this team. And then by the time Jude Bellingham comes back, he won't be replacing Arda Güler, he'll be playing next to Arda Güler. But anyway, I'm going to call the list there. Thanks for watching and peace.